Boeing is facing more blowback this morning over its 737 MAX jets. Indonesia's national airline has become the first to try to cancel its order. It was set to buy 49 of the jets as Boeing races to put a software fix in place and convince regulators all over the world that the MAX is safe to fly. Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman joining us from the newsroom this morning. So, Rick, another black eye for Boeing. But we should make clear here that just because this airline is trying to cancel the order doesn't mean they actually will, right?
That's correct. I mean, there's a contract in place here. We don't know the terms of the contract exactly. That's private. There probably is some clause in these contracts that does allow airlines to cancel the orders if Boeing fails to come through in some regard. But who knows if the terms will apply exactly in this instance. And the executives at this airline said, you know, we're getting blowback from our own customers. They're saying they don't want to fly on this plane. So to some extent, they may be just trying to do right by their customers and say, okay, we're going back to Boeing and we're saying we're not happy with this situation. Who knows? They might also be trying to get a little bit of a rebate for, trouble caused. Now, we should remind people, this is not the airline that suffered the crash last October. This is a different airline, also based in Indonesia. But look, this is where the first crash happened, so people obviously are intensely aware of the situation there.
So, Rick, a cancellation, if it were to happen, would not just hurt Boeing, though, right? I mean, it could actually cut into GDP.
Well, there's been this report from J.P. Morgan that basically looks at the 737 MAX and assesses how much of a part of the total GDP this aircraft is. It's a very small part, and they estimate that if Boeing were to actually stop making this plane, it could cut GDP by about 0.15%. Now, that's a small number, but it's also amazing to think that a single product could actually even be measurable in terms of GDP. Boeing has not stopped manufacturing this jet. The assembly line continues, but if this drags on long enough, Boeing will actually have to stop making the jets for at least a little while, and that's part of the concern here.
And you say, Rick, that Boeing should actually take a page from the auto industry and how it's handling all this. What do you mean?
Well, I must emphasize here that we still don't know exactly what caused these two crashes, but it does seem to focus on this stall prevention system. And there was some safety equipment, new reports from yesterday saying that there was this safety equipment that Boeing offered to airlines as optional equipment. And that just sounds really wrong. In the auto industry, there's new safety technology coming all the time. And what usually happens is once that technology has been proven and once it becomes economically viable, the government typically requires that to become standard equipment. That has happened with airbags, for example, anti-lock brakes. It has happened with electronic stability control systems, and there's more technology like that coming. So look, if you have equipment, it should be standard, safety equipment. It should be standard on all models, not offered as an upgrade.